Recreational marijuana also failed to meet the 60% threshold needed to pass. Both sides spent millions of dollars to sway voters. Once again, a majority of people, 56%, approved the measure, while 44% voted against it. Groups like the Florida Sheriff's Association campaigned strongly against expanding marijuana access. Joining me is Charlotte County Sheriff Bill Promell, also president of the Florida Sheriff's Association. Thank you so much, Sheriff, for joining us. We appreciate your time.
Well, thank you for having me.
So, Sheriff, I know you, as well as the Sheriff's Association, felt strongly that this was not a good amendment for the state of Florida. Why is that?
No, this is something that could have changed the landscape of Florida for a very, very long time. You know, putting something in a constitutional amendment is very serious because once it's in there, it's virtually impossible to get out. And this is not what it seems. You know, one of the things that does concern me is although we beat it because it didn't get the supermajority, but still the majority of the Floridians did vote for it with 56%. You know, with all that we have going on with substance use and mental health disorders, this is just not something we needed for the state of Florida. And, you know, if you look at the top 10 substance use diagnoses here in the state of Florida, cannabis dependence is ranked number 3 and cannabis abuse is ranked number 6. So if you put those two together, you know, that's right behind alcohol dependence.
So you said it, about 56% of voters supported the amendment. Were you surprised at that percentage?
Not really, but it does, like I said, it does concern me because it appears the majority of the Floridians do not understand the hazards that go with marijuana use. This is not the marijuana of old. This is not the marijuana that some people remember back in the 60s and 70s. It's much more stronger. It's addictive. And it, you know, they're trying to say that this would have brought billions of dollars to our schools and our law enforcement. That is just so untrue. This would be costing us more because, you know, and if you look at the state of Colorado, for every dollar that they're bringing in tax revenue, they're spending $4.50 in social costs. You've got the health issues, you've got addictive issues, you've got all kinds of things going on over there. You know, we're known for our sunshine, our beaches, and Mickey Mouse. We don't need this. And I'm glad we didn't get to 60%.
Sheriff Bill Promell, we appreciate your time. Thank you so very much, Sheriff. Joining me now is Cole Peacock, who helped lead the successful effort to get medical marijuana approved in Florida and supported passage of this recreational marijuana amendment, which of course did not pass. Cole, welcome.
Nice to be here.
So more than $150 million to try to get this amendment passed. It did not. Why do you think it failed?
I think the main reason you look at amendments that fail in the state of Florida, and traditionally it takes multiple times for them to get passed, because you have such a strong threshold to overcome. At 60% voter approval is incredibly difficult. You know, most elected officials don't even get that when they get elected to office. Most of the legislature who passed the 60% rule probably don't get 6% in their re-election races. That is a very difficult thing to get passed. You had a clear majority of the state of Florida at 57% say they wanted something like this, along with other amendments that were on the ballot. But if you don't get 60 in the state, it doesn't matter.
So at least 24 states have passed recreational marijuana. Are you surprised it didn't pass? And how important do you think Governor Ron DeSantis' opposition to this played a role?
Surprised it didn't pass, probably more disappointed. Again, it takes multiple times, you know, going back to 2004-ish when the legislature and the state of Florida put in this 60% rule, because that was not ever the case in the state of Florida. It was just a majority for amendments. Mm-hmm. So that, knowing that is tough. Most amendments have to go on the ballot a couple of times. I do think this will come back again as well. Do I think the governor's influence, any governor's influence, when you have the weight of the government behind you, the weight of your leadership in your party, the weight of kind of, you know, untapped funds, and you can bring all kinds of dollars to oppose it. What I think is interesting is what's going to happen with the dynamics between, you know, at the time candidate Trump and now President Trump, who was supportive of Amendment 3, mm-hmm. and now you have a governor who's opposed to it. I think that's going to be an interesting dynamic. You know, there may be things on the federal level that supersede the state level and do some things. So I think also you're going to have the legislature probably look at some of these issues, whether they make action or not, I don't know.
Cole, we always appreciate your time. We'll check in with you again. Thank you.
Got it. Thank you.